Okay, so let's get started with example number 1. So the example number 1 says the table below represents the amount of snowfall in 5 counties to the amount of time in hours. Is the amount of snowfall Y proportional to time X? So here's what we're going to do. The first thing is we need to remember that a proportional table means that all of these ratios are equal. Okay, so the question is asking me, is the amount of snowfall, so is Y proportional to X, which is time? So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to write down what the ratio is. So on the side, we're going to write down, so my ratio it says we're going to do is Y to X, which is the amount of snowfall, so inches to time. Okay, so we're looking at inches, Y, to time, which is X. Okay, now it's asking, is this proportional? So what we're going to try to figure out is, okay, are all of these ratios the same? Because that's what a proportional table has to have. It has to have the same ratio. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to actually write down my table. So my table is time, which is X, and snowfall. Now make sure that everything that I have down, you have down, so that you know how your work should always look like, and then upload it to your digital notebook. So what I'm going to do is write this down. We have 2, 10, 6, 12, 8, 16. We have 2.5 and 5, 7, and 14. All right, so here's the next thing I'm going to do. The next thing is I need to determine if all of these ratios are the same or if they're equivalent. So I'm going to label them. This is ratio 1. This is ratio 2, right? Because this is Y to X. This is ratio 3. We have ratio 4 and ratio 5. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to determine if these are equivalent. So I'm going to go to ratio 1, right? And we know that ratio 1, we're going to do is Y to X. Just so we get used to this, we write Y to X. And then I'm going to do 10 to 2, right? It's Y to X. 10 to 2, 10 divided by 2 gives me 5 over 1. Cool. So let's try ratio 2. So what I'm going to do, again, Y over X. That equals 12 to 6. Okay, so 12 divided by 6, remember fraction is division, is 2 over 1. So already what I notice here is that there's a 5 and there's a 2, which means these ratios are not the same. They're not equivalent, which means that this table already cannot be proportional. This is not a proportional table because I already have in these two ratios different ratios. So once you have that, you're like, oh, these are not the same. You could stop here because it cannot be proportional even if there's one ratio that is not the same. So even though you could be like, well, Ms. Mustafa, 16 divided by 8 is 2, 5 divided by 2.5 is 2, 14 divided by 7 is also 2, it doesn't matter. Even if all of these equal 2, because I have 5 over 1, this table is not proportional. So here we would say, no, this is not proportional. Because not all ratios are the same or equal. Okay, so over here, what we're going to do is we're going to say, no, this is not proportional. One ratio is equal to 5 while the other is equal to 2. So this cannot be proportional. So make sure that you're going to take this work and you're going to upload it on your digital notebook right here. And you're going to do it for example 1. And you should have already had your work uploaded for the Do Now.